Hi, it's me, and you are very welcome, and you should prepare to be satisfied.
Now, everybody loves it when the balance goes back in for the first time after a renovation, and what better place to start than with this 1972 Rolex GMT Master, which I need to be a bit careful with because the watch is worth about £18,000.
Or just give it a little nudge, little nudge, little nudge. Yay! There it goes. Oh God, I love that. I love that. That is so satisfying. Look at it going there. That is so satisfying.
Oh, now this is cool because this movement comes from this Seiko Vanak watch. Now, although it costs a lot less than the Rolex, it has the most enormous calendar spring in it. I mean, look at the size of that thing. I mean, you got to be careful because that thing can take your eye out.
Now, but wait for the change. That massive spring makes it happen really fast. So wait for the change. Watch the Sunday 30th on the window there. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah! Wow, now that is fast, right? That is really, really fast. You know? But we've slowed it down now. Times 4. And it's still really fast. I mean, look at this. Watch, 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 watch. And that is slowed down 4 times. Guys, now that is fast.
Okay, let's try and blow up a Rolex because this is the case to this Rolex Explorer.
And we are at 60 meters of water pressure. So, 3, 2, 1. I have no idea why I got 700,000 views on TikTok on that.
Oh my days, will you look at this? This is, I mean, this is proper rusty, right? This is worth like 126 quid.
But restoring rust bucket Rolexes like this is what I do, so I am itching to get in there
with a little bit of pegwood and get
all that rust off. Oh, that is nice. That is so nice, getting that off. Come in with the Rodico, finish it off real nice, pop it back on the watch. Look at that jewel. Oh my days, make sure it works. Make sure it works, and there you go. Boom. So if you like that result, smash that like button.
Okay, this is a modern Rolex, the 2235, and it's actually from this watch.
Now with the tweezers, just putting it on little. Now this ain't happening. Oh, the minute repeater. Oh, now this is a beautiful, beautiful watch. The most complicated watch I ever worked on. In fact, it's the most complicated complication in a watch. That's under the dial. That's the other side of the watch. That is such. This took me a year to do. Look, this is when I started taking it apart, and just look how complicated this mechanism is. I digitally printed a movement holder for it, and you know, took the watch apart, and there it is, the whole watch apart. And as you can see, that is, I mean, that is complicated. So I was petrified. I put it back together. I'm putting it back together here. And yeah, look, and I got it running. It only took me about a year. A nice high amplitude, 324, and even had to fix the case. There was a broken spring in the case, and I was just putting it back in the case, and so what does a guy do when, an Englishman do, when he is in, you know, really, really deep poo? Well, he does what most Englishmen do in that situation, and that's, he calls for help from America.
It looks like before before I clean it up. You know, the teeth are, you can see it folded over.
Oh my God.
All I do is run a piece of emery cloth between the teeth just to knock that burr off. And I'm going to send you an extra one just in case something goes horribly wrong here. You'll have an extra that you can clean up and use if you need to.
Okay, that is really, really kind, because those teeth are very, very fine for brass, aren't they?
Right, they are. In fact, when I was parting them off, one of them, and I go extremely slow when I part it off, one of them, it bent the tooth when I was trying to cut it off, so I ended up with one of these with a missing tooth, and I may even just part one more off here.
And there it is, the 1888 minute repeater lives again thanks to Carl Burghardt from New York State. And here is the watch running again. Now listen to this. Now if that's not satisfying, I don't know what is. And here again is the Rolex 2235. We gotta get this working. Give it a nudge. Go on, go on, go on, go on, go on, go on, go on. Yay! I am determined to blow up a watch for you guys in this video. So let's get it down. This is a Rolex GMT Master. The pressure is 60 meters of water. Now that is quite a lot of pressure. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's rubbish. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. Rolex Datejust. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh no. This is pretty, and right at the other end of the scale. What I'm doing here is lifting out the jewel on the balance wheel there. Got to be really, really careful and
Giving it a little clean there.
and popping the capstone back on. Super, super careful there. Got to give it a little nudge. Little nudge. Nice and careful. Now watch this bit. Watchmakers, watch this bit. This is where Richard finally gets a little bit of respect, because this is tricky. Watch. Oh, that's gone in. That is so satisfying.
Okay, there is no reason to panic, everything is under control. All we are doing is some reluming of this beautiful watch, and we have to take out some tritium from the indices that you can see there and replace it with the beautiful new lume. Now that is satisfying.
With a still camera, I managed to get these really nice shots, I think. And you can actually see here that the lume under the hands has worked.
Okay, British Army G10, nice, but hard to get the back off. So, enter the beast of a machine. And we put the watch in it, as you can see there. Now, you've got to limber up a little bit, got to limber up, and then, push. Oh, yes! That is so nice. To slow it down, slow motion. And, oh, no, that is satisfying. Right. Okay, this is really grubby, this pocket watch, and I've restored the movement, so I'm trying to clean the case here. Well, not trying, I'm actually quite good at it. So yeah, we've got to get some bicarbonate of soda. Now the salt, and get it in there with a brush. And more salt, more bicarb, nice. And time for a nice cup of tea, a nice English cup of tea. Oh no. Now watch this sizzle, listen. Oh, that is nice. There's a chemical reaction going on here. There's an actual chemical reaction. Get back in with the brush. Open it up, plastic tweezers, have a good look. Yeah, more brush. Yeah, get in with the brush. Now, looking good already, looking good, but wait for it. Silvo, yeah, now prepare to be satisfied, because this, oh god, look how that's coming up. Oh, that's so nice. And I put the watch inside it, and I have restored this whole watch, so it's all pretty clean, right? Now look at that dust cover. This watch is 1896, and I'm going to open it up now when I get my act together, and look at that. Now listen. It's satisfying, right? Oh, the minute repeater, I didn't show you it from this side. Now that's satisfying. Hey, up she rises, we're going to blow something up now. There was a issue with this watch. This watch is damaged, but watch this. Hey, up she rises early in the morning. Okay, that's the watch down in the water then. As we repeat it, we will see. Down in the water then. Blew the back off. Like, share, subscribe. See you next time.